Ladies, if you have been ignoring those gnawing gut feelings in your relationship, the ones that make you go, something's off, pay attention. In this video, I am sharing 20 red flag warnings that every woman and girl needs to know. Plus, why recognizing these red flags is crucial to your happiness, your growth, and your upward momentum throughout life. Do not hitch your star to someone unworthy of your awesomeness. Understanding these warning signs can absolutely change your life. Don't let love blind you. Let's empower you to make smart choices. Okay, ladies, let's do this. Straight to the point, you deserve a healthy, loving relationship with a partner who is the wind beneath your wings, not the scissors that clip them to keep you from flying. Here are 20 relationship red flags that every woman should know to make smart decisions. Number 1, control. This is the guy who thinks he's the boss of you. He pushes to control things in your life, like where you go, who you talk to, who you hang out with, how you spend your time, even how you spend your money. He's excessively jealous and looks to question and control your decisions. This is a strong indication that not only is he highly insecure, but that he lacks respect for you as a grown, independent adult. Know this, it is not because you are incompetent, you are not. It is him, not you. Number 2, lack of communication. Part of a healthy relationship is the ability to speak openly and calmly about feelings, future plans, and certainly conflicts when they arise. If he's constantly clamming up and won't communicate past the basics, it can really hinder emotional intimacy and lead to unaddressed issues that continue to fester and boil throughout the relationship. It can also make you feel isolated, shut out, and really just like you're alone. Inconsistency. He's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. One day he loves you. The next day, he's distant and cold. His moods and behavior change without warning. He says one thing, but he does another. He cancels plans last minute and doesn't follow through on promises. For a period of time, he connects with you every day, then suddenly disappears for a period of time without explanation. That's weird. Inconsistency undermines trust and reliability in a relationship. Look, no one wants to be kept on pins and needles just waiting for the other shoe to drop, or what mood he's going to be in, or whether he'll call you or not. That's not healthy and you deserve better than that. Number 4, disrespect. Belittling comments, rude sarcasm, dismissing your opinions or your input. A partner should always treat you kindly and with respect even when you disagree, especially when you disagree. Constantly pointing out your flaws or comparing you unfavorably to others is meant to erode your self-esteem and to control you. In a case like this, candidly, you have better things to do and wasting your light on somebody like that isn't one of them. Financial control. If he's accessing your bank records, looking over receipts to see what you bought and what you're spending with judgment and scrutiny, that is an element of controlling micromanagement. When it feels like you're being micromanaged and controlled, it understandably triggers defensiveness or a feeling that you need to justify, rationalize, or explain why you bought something. All of this may understandably lead to feelings of resentment and anger. Now, in fairness, ladies, if you're married and ergo have commingled bank accounts and credit as a married couple would, a heightened level of reciprocal financial accountability might be something to which you've both agreed in order to get through tough financial hardships. But the scrutiny should work both ways, not just on you. True story, ladies, you're gonna die. I know a woman whose husband had put notification alerts on her card to notify him of her spending. Side note, she was the breadwinner. He worked from home, and that's putting it generously. One day she ordered extra avocado on her sandwich, and no joke, within a minute, he's texting her, berating her about the extra 50 cents that she spent on lunch. Yeah. Exit, stage left. Number 6, isolation from support systems. He chides you into cutting ties with friends or family, or makes you feel guilty for spending time with them and not him on a regular basis. Isolation is a form of control, manipulation, and an attempt to distance you from your social support. Normal, grounded people don't try and isolate somebody that they love, and they certainly don't try and keep them from friends and family who love and support them. That's just weird, ladies. You decide who gets to be in your life, not him. Number 7, it is never his fault. Don't we know some of these people? This is someone who doesn't take responsibility for his problems, but rather seeks to put the blame on others around him. He never acknowledges his own mistakes or his part in creating certain issues, which makes it very difficult to grow, evolve, and thrive in life. And guess what? You're the one next to him, so consequently, many times you're going to be the brunt of the blame. Number 8, liar, pants on fire. Lying, hiding information, whether big or small, is not the foundation for a healthy relationship because you're constantly questioning whether or not he's telling the truth. Isn't that exhausting? True story, I once dated a guy who, no joke, would lie over the weirdest, dumbest things. Like, hey, I made us dinner reservations for 8 o'clock, only to show up at the restaurant and realize that he hadn't made reservations, so we were put on the wait list. Like, didn't it cross his mind that I would find out? And by the way, there was really no need to lie in the first place. Just saying. Even small lies can gradually erode trust, making you doubt the truthfulness of anything said, even in non-critical situations. Do you really want to spend your life wondering whether or not he's telling you the truth? Let's say every person has 100 units of energy that they can choose to expend any way they want on any given day. If you're spending even 20 of those units questioning and wondering whether or not he's lying, that's 20 units stolen from you that you could have chosen to expend on something that you love doing, your goals, your growth in life. No thank you, ma'am. Love bombing. Moving at lightning speed in a relationship is a huge red flag, ladies. Rushing into a commitment way too soon, I love yous, can be a sign of insecurity or a need to nail you down as quickly as possible, versus a genuine connection, which is what we're all looking for, right? Stable people don't feel the need to propose after a month of dating. That's just my opinion. Okay, true story. I remember being asked out by a really good-looking trainer at the gym. Obviously, this is a long time ago, pre-Oliver. We went on 3 dates. Here's what happened. Date number 1, he shows up with a huge bouquet of flowers and takes me to a very expensive restaurant. My first thought was, okay, this is a little bit weird. I chalked it up to he's a nice guy and clearly he was just excited to take me on a date. Date 2, another bouquet and a trio of my favorite Ben & Jerry's ice creams that I happened to mention on the date previously, and behind the plate tickets to see the Padres, our baseball team, when we were in the playoffs. Can you imagine how expensive those tickets were on a personal trainer's salary, or really anybody's salary? Date 3, the final one, a helicopter ride to Catalina with a personal guide and a private dinner, where he asked me to be his girlfriend. After 3 dates. Ladies, you would have an easier time putting a cat in a bathtub. I was so out of there lickety-split it would have made your head spin. Too much, too soon, something was going on there. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't want any part of it. I later learned that he came from a very strict religious family and he hadn't yet come out to anyone, let alone his family. In retrospect, I really feel that he was trying desperately to find a nice girl, get married, settle down in order to adhere to his family's expectations, which, look, my heart goes out to him. That can't be an easy situation to deal with. But my instincts were right. Think long, think wrong. And if your instincts are telling you something's not right here, listen to them. Number 10, jealousy. This is, in my opinion, one of the worst. He's oddly jealous and possessive over your interactions with other people, whether it's a female friend, a male colleague, or even other family members. If you feel that you literally can't talk to anyone, especially somebody of the opposite sex, without triggering him, that is a huge red flag. Do you really want to feel that you're walking on eggshells for the rest of your life? How exhausting must that be? Strong relationships are built on a foundation of trust. Someone who has excessive jealousy tendencies is never going to trust you because it's not you, it's him. Know that nothing you say or do is going to change that. It's his challenge to work through, and you don't need to be on the brunt end of that. Just saying. Manipulation. Straight up, he uses guilt and emotional manipulation to get what he wants from you. Examples: after all I've done for you, you can't even help me with this? Or the silent treatment. He uses silence as a form of punishment or control to manipulate your behavior, like refusing to talk to you after an argument. Finally, there's manipulative praise, or what I call the backhanded compliment. That outfit looks amazing on you. It would look even better if you lost just a few pounds. Okay, my response, if anybody ever said that to me, was, yeah, you might want to back away from the carbs yourself, buddy. Number 12, he's all talk. If he has a pattern of making promises but rarely following through, red flag. Strong relationships are built on the peace of mind that you can depend on each other. Even on the small things, it's what creates trust and stability. If Oliver says, okay, don't worry, I'll take care of that, I know he will. Hard stop. Substance abuse. Look, every person on this earth has their struggles. Everybody. If his is substance abuse, that is a really tough one. But ladies, it is not your cross to bear. I'll say it again. That is not your cross to bear. Drinking, drugs can spawn erratic behavior, instability, and certainly sometimes emotional and physical abuse. No. And let me be clear, a substance abuse issue does not mean that somebody is a bad person, but it's like connecting yourself to a 400-pound anchor and throwing yourself overboard. No matter how strong you are, you're going down, in my opinion. Number 14, not interested. It's pretty much all about him, his job, his life, his goals, his interests, his hobbies, what he wants to do, and he shows little if any interest in you. True story, I have a friend who at the time had been married for 15 years. Her then husband came home with a cup of coffee from Starbucks and she said, "Oh, thank you, but I don't drink coffee." And he said, "Since when?" And she paused and said, "I've been drinking tea every morning for the past 10 years. It's funny because after everything that went on with them, it's the one thing that for whatever reason just really bugged her. And I think because on some level it just showed, you don't see me, you don't notice me, you don't even know that I haven't had coffee for 10 years. So I don't know where I was going with that, but that was my point. Past relationship baggage. He constantly talks about his exes negatively or clearly hasn't moved on past a past relationship. For me personally, I would run like the plague from this one. Regardless of why the relationship ended or who did what to whom, forgiveness, the ability to have perspective, the ability to be able to move on from something is a sign of a more evolved human. Staying angry, resentful, constantly rehashing what happened means one of two things in my opinion. Either the breakup was way too recent and he hasn't had time to go through and process everything, in which case it's too early for him to be dating anyways, or he's emotionally stunted in this area, he holds grudges, and really lacks the ability to let go of the past. Either way, I don't really think you want to get ensnared in that. If he's tried to move on too early from his past relationship and it's meant to be with you and he, it'll happen. Just give him the time to sort things out. If you're still available, great. If you're not, you're not. Okay, gaslighting. He makes you question your own thoughts, values, memory, and perception. He might say things like, "You're just imagining things," or "It's all in your head," or "No, I didn't." Gaslighting is a form of manipulation used to convince someone that their reality isn't true, that you didn't see what you know you saw, that you didn't hear what you know you heard. It's usually both big and small things, which I think is more dangerous because it's a constant erosion and chipping away at your sense of self-confidence if you let it. Let's just say you legitimately saw him walking out of a restaurant with another woman. When confronted, he laughs and says, "You're just seeing things. I've never even been to that restaurant." Or something small like, "Yeah, I'll pick up the dry cleaning on the way home." Then later says, "I never said that." Gaslighter, run, don't walk. 17, he's so ridiculously critical. A strong partner is your biggest champion. He's the wind under your wings, believing in your potential, loving you exactly as you are. If you're with somebody who criticizes, belittles, makes you feel less than, not as good as, it's not you who isn't good enough, it's him. While constructive feedback is healthy, being an ass isn't. Number 18, it is never his fault. Part of being a grown-ass adult is having the self-awareness to say, "All right, that was my bad, sorry." To apologize, to take accountability for oneself. If he rarely, if ever, apologizes for mistakes or wrongdoings, that can indicate a lack of accountability. This one segues right into the next red flag. He's always the victim. It's never his fault, it's always the other person. Everyone's out to get him, that's why he's not successful. Look, losing or not coming out on top can be a really hard pill to swallow. We all know this. It sucks, but the ability to take responsibility for our actions, to dissect what went wrong is part of growing, evolving, and getting better. If he's always a victim, it's going to be extremely difficult for him to move forward and get ahead in life. And oh, by the way, guess who's going to get blamed for everything that goes wrong in his life? You. Number 20, he is unreliable. Whether consistently late, cancels plans at the last minute, or doesn't always do what he promises, this is the guy who instills a constant feeling of anxiety. Whether he'll actually be there when he says he will is a crapshoot, and when he actually does show you, breathe a sigh of relief. Part of a healthy relationship is the knowledge that you can depend on the person to show up and come through for you. If they say they'll do something, they do it. And if you're on the marriage track, you're not gonna wanna miss my next video, the 10 biggest myths about marriage. Have a great week, ladies, and I'll see you in a couple.